Welcome to episode 11 in my Workspace Redesign series. In this video, I want to show you how to quickly import your room floor plan to scale in Procreate. In episodes 6 and 9, I showed you how to sketch your floor plan by hand in scale in case you do not have one. But that is not always necessary, as most people do receive a floor plan of their space when they move into their new home. Now, a really good floor plan to receive when moving in looks like this. You have dimensions on all sides. Each room has a description of its surface. You can see here the dining room, the bathroom, the hallway. Every room in this house has a description. Ideally, there's also a minimal understanding of where the important furniture should be located. I can see in the floor plan where the dining table could be located, where the kitchen cabinets are best located, what the sitting room should look like. A layout like this has been planned with furniture in mind, and it helps you, the user, set up your furniture with much more ease once you move in. But is every floor plan like this? No, mine definitely was not. And here's a cutout of the floor plan I received when I moved in. And as you can see, there are no dimensions around the floor plan or even the square meters of the room. But what I do know is that somebody took the dimensions of this room and drew this floor plan in scale before giving it to me. So all I need to do is to import my floor plan into Procreate and then adjust it to scale. For consistency, I'm going to use the same scale I used for the sketch floor plan in episode 6 and later episode 9. I'll be using scale 1 to 20, where 20 centimeters in real life are 1 centimeter on paper, but my grid is not every 1 centimeter, but every half centimeter, which means that every square on my paper represents 10 centimeters in real life. First, I just want to turn off all the layers of my hand sketch until all I have is my A3 paper and my grid. The other thing you need to know is the dimensions of at least one side of your room. So maybe you don't have to measure the entire room like I did in episode 4, but if you just know one dimension, that would be enough to import your floor plan to scale in this episode. If I look at the measured floor plan we drew in episode 4, I know that my room is 483.6 centimeters by 448.2 centimeters. Because the floor plan I received is a technical plan and should already be in scale, when I adjust one dimension to my scale, all the other dimensions will automatically be adjusted as well. 483.6 centimeters by 448.2 centimeters in a scale 1 to 20 means that the size of my room is 48.3 squares by 44.8 squares. And I want to mark these dimensions of my room in a new layer. To mark these dimensions, I'm starting from the upper right corner, and on the longest side, I am making a marking for every meter or every 10 squares. I can find the 48 squares, but the extra 3 centimeters are hard to draw precisely when a square is 10 centimeters, but luckily we are still in sketch mode, so it's not super important. I want to mark these edges with a black pen so I can see them, and do the same for the short edge. I find the 44 squares and then I try to mark as close as possible where the 8 centimeters might be. I also want to mark this edge with a strong line. And then I want to import the floor plan cutout of my room. Your floor plan file can be JPEG or PDF format. Mine is JPEG. As I import it, I can see that it is the top layer, masking both my grid and the layer with the markings, which I need to have on top. So I'm just going to pull the layer with the floor plan below these layers and pull the layer with the grid and the markings over my floor plan cutout. And now that I have both my grid and my markings above my floor plan cutout, I can pull the edges of the cutout to scale the floor plan proportionally to my scale. Make sure to select the arrow on the upper left corner and that you have uniform selected at the bottom of the screen. And then just keep pulling the edges until you meet the markings. Somehow the long side matches my markings, but the short side does not. I'm not sure if this is a poor measurement on the people who gave me the floor plan or mine. Because the apartment is in a building that is about 150 years old, it could also be that when they measured, it was like that, but it's not anymore. Old buildings do not have the same foundation as new buildings, and they do tend to move a little bit over the years. So it could be that it was like that then, but it's not anymore. It could also be that I measured wrong, and I need to keep this in mind. Whichever the case, since we are in sketch mode, I can still work with the lighting precision, so I can leave it like that for now. Once I have stretched my image to scale, I also want to position it more centrally since it's too much on one side. And then I want to readjust my sketch of the furniture I have drawn in episode 9 for this new layout. To make it easy for me to move, I just make a group with all the furniture and miniature people layers, and then just push each of them around until it makes sense. It appears that the window curtains are too far to the left, so I select them on the original layer and make a copy on a new layer so I can move them independently. And voila! This is how I import my floor plan in scale, and if you want to see the rest of this playlist, click here.